Well, yes.
How you doing, man? Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. They can reply.
You're back.
Yes, I am. Thank
Call meeting to order, Town of Palmyra Town Board meeting, Monday, March 10th, 2025, 6 o'clock p.m. at the Palmyra Town Hall, W 1125, Highway 106, Palmyra, Wisconsin. Certification of compliance with open meetings law.
Yes, the agenda was properly posted.
Roll call.
Kayevsky.
Here.
Martins.
Here.
Sauter.
Here.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks everybody for coming tonight. Approval of town board minutes from 1/15/25, 2/6/25, and 2/10/25.
Make a motion to approve the town board minutes, 1/15, 2/6, and 2/10/25.
Second.
Motion's made and a second. Any further discussion on it? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Approve payment of bills as presented.
We have a bill to We Energies for $549.45. Another bill to We Energies for $65.58. A bill to Jefferson County Treasurer for $19,058.91. That was the airport hangar tax bill. Palmyra Eagle School District $25 for room rental. Michelle Smith $3,564.19. Harrison Williams McDonald $1,320. Wisconsin Farm Bureau $65. Lang Enterprises $213.76. LRS $10,182.98. Humane Society of Jefferson County $280.40. Margaret Burlingham $90. Sandra Murphy $120. Leslie Odd $172.50. Mark Montgomery $96. Northwest Services $3,229.65. APG of Southern Wisconsin $46.65. Frank Sauter $649.38. Rob Martins $230.87. Josh Kayevsky $230.87. Terry Orchard $90. Laura Lowry $104.45, which is a reimbursement for a Microsoft license fee that was charged to her credit card. Tom Ralston $197.40. And Northwest Services $20,178.75. Then there were numerous checks issued from the tax account. Jefferson County Treasurer, $518,315.13. Blue Spring Lake Association, $56,610.78. Fort Atkinson School District, $14,123.24. Palmyra Eagle School District, $1,646,2.13. MATC, $992.35. Waukesha County Technical School, $42,204.20. And Lower Spring Lake District, $2,963.61.
Any questions?
Motion to approve as read.
Second.
Motion's been made to approve the bills. And a second. Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Iasky.
Aye.
Martins.
Aye.
Slaughter.
Aye. Motion carried. Public comment. Citizen statement should be limited to 3 minutes. Although the public may speak on any item not included on this agenda, the board may not respond or discuss the issue brought forward at this time. In accordance with open meetings law, the board must notice an item on the agenda to allow for discussion on that matter. Your comments will be considered and may be placed on future agenda for further discussion. We have a list. Jerry Orchard, when I call your name, I know some of you've been through this, when I call your name, state your address.
Terry Orchard, W137, Little Prairie Road. As a town resident since 2009, I would like to say a few things. I have been attending town board meetings for just short of 2 years. Being recently retired has allowed me to be more active in current happenings in our town. I have learned and am still learning more at every town board meeting. I have also attended a highway committee meeting and many airport commission meetings, and I don't have a plane or nor do I want it. But again, I am hearing and learning a lot, and still trying to understand much of what is going on. This current 3-man board has done more for our town in their first term than I have read about in minutes from the past town boards, and they should be thanked. Our town is moving forward. They have been very transparent and have welcomed questions and comments at all board meetings. They have received phone calls and emails, both positive and negative, and have responded as quickly as possible. I would like to remind everyone that they have lives of their own and get paid very little for what they do. So if they don't get back to you right away, be patient, but always feel comfortable reaching out. One important thing that they are constantly working on is to better our roads, and they have included monies in the budget for upkeep and repair of them. When I've read previous minutes, I did not see any money designated in the past board's budget. Honestly, I was very surprised to hear that what I read was true. How can a town's budget not have anything set aside to maintain roads? One more thing I would like to point out is that if you only come to meetings when you need or want something, you will definitely not get the whole picture of what is happening in your town, what it needs addressed, or what it takes to run it. Hearsay can most likely be misunderstood at the very least, and it can lead to untrue statements and problems that do not need to be added to the board's plate. All of our lives are busy, but one Tuesday night a month should be a priority to keep informed and give ideas to help our town prosper. These men welcome ideas, suggestions, and comments so that they can help our town. Thank you.
Thank you. I love Elkie. Maybe you want to get on the board.
I do not. I do not. I want to talk about Waco
Okay.
on Blue Spring Lake. And through the years, many of discussions have been by people on the board, people on the lake, neighbors, friends. What are we going to do when boats get too big for our lake? And the time has come, the time is now. And I understand that people don't want a new rule, but a new type of boat came onto the market with new technology, large boats with ballast tanks built right into them. You push a button and water comes into the ballast tanks. If you have a 300-gallon tank, that weighs 2,500 pounds. As that's the same and equal to 12 people who weigh 200 pounds being in your boat. These are the ballast tanks that are built right into your boat. I understand that people don't want new rules. And people have said to me, this is ridiculous, this isn't happening to our lake. It isn't ruining the bottom, it isn't killing the reefs, it isn't stirring up muck, it isn't killing shorelines. But now, over 37 local ordinances have been passed covering over 245 lakes of people just like us, people that don't want follow-up boating on their lakes because it's ruining them. The town of Boulder Junction just passed an ordinance covering 18 lakes. That's a lot of lakes. It's all over Wisconsin. We aren't alone, and we're asking for your help to pass an ordinance so that we can ban follow-up boating. I want my children, my grandchildren, their children and their grandchildren to enjoy Blue Spring Lake. I don't want it to be a mud hole. And I'm not just dreaming this up. Everywhere, Lake Ripley last April passed an ordinance because their lake was being torn up. I talked to my cousin in Oconto County. Their ordinance covers 4 lakes, and they found the same thing. These boats come on the lake, they tear up the weeds, they tear around, and it's just the way they're built. They're big, huge boats. They are not for shallow little lakes like ours. So I want people to enjoy the lake. Of course I do. I've been out there for 75 years. I've seen the lake turn green one time before, and it was 30 years ago because of carp. And now we are the carp.
Okay, it's time.
Okay, thank you
Thank
for
you.
listening
Thank
to
you,
me.
Eileen.
I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Janie Collin Masterson, so you get to say your address.
Frank, if you want me to vote for you, it's Mortensen.
Oh,
That's right, I can't vote.
Didn't I say Mortensen?
No, Masterson. Hi, everybody, I'm Janie Carl Mortensen.
Sorry.
No, today I can't vote for you anyway. I'm from Blue Spring Lake, and surprised, I'm not here to talk to you about the ordinance. However, the ordinance is very near and dear to my heart. Thank you for what you said, Terry, because I really dragged my feet about coming. I am not a voter in the town of Palmyra yet. I won't be in the time that it's gonna happen. Last week, I received a phone call from a person that was wanting to tell me why I should vote for her candidate. The woman quickly told me that the 2 candidates that she believes in will vote for the ordinance. Bottom, end of story. I did some due diligence on it after she spent a ton of time bad-mouthing forever. It was like the vendetta this woman has against one of the people that's sitting on this board right now. What the hell did you do to her? And it went on and on and on. I asked my husband, who has lived in Palmyra forever, his name is Paul. They're all double cousins. And I said, what is this woman's problem? What is she doing? I have now since learned that the woman is suing the board. Why? Because they walked past each other? I don't know. I don't care. All I know is that this particular board, thank you, Terry, in my very short amount of time of being in politics, which my mother is turning over in her grave that I am, and I cannot vote in this town, but I watch these three men, well, two of the men, I really don't know you. But we need to talk. And, hey. But what I am absolutely telling you as voters, I don't care who you vote for, but if you're gonna have somebody call me to vote, or to tell me to vote for you, don't spend a ton of time telling me that my taxpayer money is not helping fund her lawsuit, or that it's not wasting my taxpayer money, and don't spend hours on the phone and call me back and badmouth somebody. You guys can all vote for who you want, but the two things I hate in politics is badmouthing, never telling me what you're gonna do good with the badmouthing, and then telling me that government is not using my taxpayer money. So.
Let's see if I get this one. Caroline Curtis.
That's not too hard, is it? It's pretty stable. Hi,
What's your address?
I'm gonna tell you, 1 second. Hi, I'm Caroline Curtis, and my husband and I live on Blue Spring Lake, W1358. South Shore Drive. Okay, so, I am here I'm gonna just read this. I'm here and speaking in support of the ordinance on the wake boats. Blue Spring Lake is approximately a 2¼ mile circumference and has an average depth of 7 feet. Logically speaking, even without the proven facts, our Blue Spring Lake does not have the capacity for the type of the wake boat. In fact, Bart's Water Sports website recommends that wake surfboarding should be 500 feet from the shore and 20 feet or more in lake depth, not 200 feet from the shore that some on BSL are suggesting. My husband and I have lived on BSL for over 15 years and have noticed more changes in the water clarity and the weeds coming to the shore over the past few years than ever before. We have this is big to me, we have small grandchildren, like 3, 2, who like to play along the shoreline of the water, and when these boats are on the lake, even if they are 200 feet from the shoreline, they create such a strong wave from surfing that it comes into our shoreline at a tremendous force, which could push the little children into the heavy boulder rocks that line our shore. That's a very dangerous element in itself, in my opinion. Some that are opposed to this ordinance have stated that it could devalue our homes by making all these restrictions. I feel that our homes will be totally devalued if there's no lake to look at because it's been destroyed, my opinion. We are not opposed in any way to the water skiing or any of the other boating activities that are currently allowed, but if these wake boats are permitted or grandfathered in, over time it will dramatically affect the quality of the lake as shown by the evidence from the committee wanting the ordinance. As far as some of the comments about not being transparent enough, I totally disagree because from day one, the people that have supported the ordinance have done extensive research from many different legitimate sources with visual evidence of the destruction to the lakes from these boats. They have been upfront and done due diligence with all of their efforts in support of the ordinance. In regard to the invasive species, the difference is that some are arguing that it can come in on any boat, but the invasive species, it's harder to remove them from the ballast wake boats. Lastly, Blue Spring Lake should be enjoyed by everyone on the lake, whether they're looking at it, swimming in it, fishing, canoeing, etc., and not just by a few, because when these wake boats are surfing, the wave is so strong that it affects all of these activities, and some in a very dangerous way. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Yay, thank you.
And with that,
I'm out of here.
Well, I'm gonna have a good one here. Mariana Creech.
Marina Creasy, it's close enough.
I've heard that name growing up.
My name's Marina Creasy, and my husband and I are at 1403 North Blue Spring Lake Drive. This marks the 50th summer we've been out here, so we have some history here with the lake. What I was planning to say has been repeated a little bit, but I'm here once again to speak in favor of the ordinance. And I know that some people who are against the ordinance feel that the people who drive these wake boats are being conscientious. And if you go to the Wake Responsibly, the wake boat industry's website, they tell you there are 3 criteria. One is, they say 200 feet, but I know 500 feet from shoreline, pier, or other boats is what's generally accepted. They say no repeat pathways. In other words, you don't go back and forth in the same pathway because that can damage a lake. And the third is moderate your music, which I don't think is a huge issue on our lake. But, you know, we have a rule on Blue Spring Lake that any kind of motorized vehicle has to go in a counterclockwise fashion. So these wake boats are not going counterclockwise, so they're violating our lake rules, and they're violating the wake boat industry rules of no repeat pathways. And so they actually are probably doing more damage potentially than if they were going, but they obviously know that the shoreline is too shallow. So I just wanted to say I really implore you to consider the future of the lake. People have certainly mentioned property values as an issue, but pleasure and usability of the lake is really important, and I hope that this ordinance will pass. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
One more. Mr. Richard Martin.
Yeah, Richard Martin, 711 Lampson Street. I do own a hangar here on the airport. I just want to say, as far as the pending tax on the hangars, I just asked it to be divided up per the valuation of the hangars, which I'm assuming you're going to be doing on it. The other thing I want to say is thank you so much to this board for being transparent. My wife and I are snowbirds. We go south and spend the cold months down there with our grandkids. But yet I can keep track of what's going on back home here through emails and Facebook posts and things like that. I really appreciate that. And Jim, thanks for posting videos of meetings and such. It's a way that we can keep informed even though we're down in the warmer weather and enjoying the grandkids. Thank you.
Thank you. Correspondence.
There's some.
Reports, treasurer. Do we have any money left? Oh, big checks you wrote out there?
I was just a little bit of it. First Citizens State Bank, after tomorrow's deposit, will have $332,262.84. The tax account has been being drained, paying everybody their share. That's now down to $127,925.75. The airport checking account balance as of today is $42,497.93. And our local government investment rule balance is $89,377.52. And as you recall, we had a $600,000 line of credit. $242,000 was drawn in 2024, and those funds have been drawn in 2025.
I would like to reemphasize that last point, that the loan we took out is a line of credit for $600,000, only paying interest on what we draw. We've only drawn what we drew in 2024, $242,000, and we haven't drawn any yet this year, and we may never draw any more. Depends what happens with various things throughout the year. If interest rates go up, we've locked into a good rate. If interest rates come down, we can cancel that loan at any point, as opposed to some comments that were out there in wherever that is.
Okay, clerk?
In-person absentee voting will begin at 1:00 p.m. on Tuesday, March 18th. That is the first day the state allows us to have in-person absentee. And if you watch the website, we'll have some extended hours that are being worked on. The first round of mail absentee ballots were mailed on Saturday. Also, per the assessor, open book will be held virtually this year and is scheduled for April 11th. And board of review will be on May 8th. And I don't have any more information on it this except for the fact that the garbage company, LRS, has been sold, at least the Wisconsin branch has. Services are to continue as they are, and as soon as we have additional information, we'll go ahead.
Do we know who bought them?
Yes, and it was an odd name, and it's buried on my desk somewhere. I cannot remember, it's not a name I recognize.
How long was that contract?
Several more years.
Any questions? Any other?
Now, we are finally totally eliminating the CentryTel email address that the town has had, so please use the wi.gov email addresses if you want to contact us. They're on the website. We've been phasing out the CentryTel for some time.
Right, some of the others emailed me. Remember that, did you use the new one last time, Mike?
You talking to me?
Yeah, you used the new email when you just emailed me the other day?
Yeah, I got the yelling at me email saying don't use the other one again, so.
You said, send it to the new one, cause.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it.
Also, real good.
Can I make a point on that? I've gotten a number of, probably 6 maybe, emails from folks out in Blue Spring recently, and tracked down the source of what it is, and it's actually the village's website. Because if people don't realize they live in the village or in the town, and they Google Palmyra, Wisconsin, the first one that pops up on Google is the village's website, and you can actually find our email addresses from 2023 and 2024, beginning of. So I emailed the clerk and asked them to just put a link for the town's website contact page. Unfortunately, there's not a link and the same information that was on there. But in any event, you can only hope so much of this.
The highway, report, is anybody here from Northwest? Flabbergasted. That's the first time I ever had it. Yeah, well, I am flabbergasted. Well, I guess we'll move on to the fire department.
All right, a couple of things. We just had our 2% dues audit this year. We passed that in flying colors, I might say. So we'll be looking forward to that refunding of that stuff from the state later in the year, I guess. By August, they said for sure. Then we had a little fire in the town here. It's being investigated by the Wisconsin DNR because it got into the Kettle Moraine Forest. We did arrive initially with a full complement of personnel and our apparatus, which we found quickly that with the winds and everything was getting out of control, so we called for mutual aid. Our initial responding units arrived, and with the wind conditions and everything, it was just very rapidly spreading. So we called for additional units and to help us put it out, but I think all in all, it was a successful outcome. The forest didn't burn down. Some marsh grass burned up, and I'm sure it would be really nice and pretty and green in the spring here. But if you guys got any questions about it, feel free to call my office, or you can ask me now. I'll answer them as best as I can.
I know you said the DNR is investigating.
The DNR
causes,
Pardon me, sir?
preliminary ideas of cause?
They've got a couple speculations, either a lit cigarette from the roadway, open burning is a possibility, or recreational vehicles are the top 3 that he has mentioned to me at this point. Due to the large area of fire, and with no witness statements, no specific, I guess I'll call them clues or specific evidence that says, yeah, this is what started it. They're supposed to follow up with me and village PD at the end of this week. The sheriff's department was there. I don't know what their involvement was with any investigation. They left pretty early on in the incident. So I don't know if they're involved in it at all. I did tell them to contact them to see what information they had any, but because if they get into the forest, the DNR is taking over the investigation on it.
Can you, not cut them off, but can you stick around? We've got a couple of agenda items that I'm curious.
Yeah, I sure can. Yep, no problem.
Airport. Anything you'd like to report on, Mr. Chairman? That's you, Mr. Bory.
Well, we're kind of in a holding pattern right now, but we have the dues with the prototype. You folks, I see that's on the agenda for this evening.
It's there.
And, I guess we'll discuss the rest of it later.
Okay. Blue Spring Lake District.
I think everybody understands the main issue that's in front of the Lake District and the town right now. The only thing really I can add is, the ordinance issue will be on the town board's, agenda for our April meeting. So, I guess that's new information for everybody.
Anything else?
But, did you wanna, fireworks were approved for the 4th of July,
Yes,
and the date for the 4th, it's the
July 5th,
Fifth.
Saturday, July 5th, rain date, Sunday the 6th. The lake is open. Come fish.
Hey.
Or swim if you're brave.
Yeah.
Building inspector.
We have a report from the building inspector for January and February. There were two electrical permits, 1 heating permit, and 2 cell tower modifications or alterations. Addresses are listed on the back of on the treasurer's report. And we specific on the fees.
Emergency management plan, not going to report on that this time. Sheriff's Department. He's not here, obviously. They're still about 50% down, half staff up there. We found that out about 3 weeks ago, I don't know, Sheriff. They're still 50% down.
They hired anybody recently?
I believe he told me one. I believe he told me one was hired. Well, new business. Number 1, approval of letter of engagement with Johnson Block Audit to perform town's 2024 audit.
It's just an agreement with Johnson Black to perform our annually required audit. We have to sign it and hand it to them to complete the process.
Is it the, same basic letter as prior years?
It is.
Is there anything we want to
That's
change about that?
up to you guys.
Yeah.
Right. It's pretty standard.
We need a motion on that, too, right?
Motion to authorize the town supervisor, town chairman and clerk to, sign off on the letter of engagement from Johnson Block to perform the town's 2024 financial audit.
Is there a second? Second. Any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye. This is for the 24 audit.
Correct.
I mean, aye.
Let's start over. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. So far, this is a joyful meeting. Number 2, discussion and possible action on Michael Prado's request for variance to allow access to State Road 59 by use of easement for 1 acre residential lot at W611 State Road 59. Tax parcel number 024-0516-2312-002 and action on request to rezone parcel from A1 to A3 to create a 1 acre residential